I'm just a D girl from around the way with a whole lot of shit to say. It's your girl, KB.
It's your hostess with the mostest. It's Kiki.
What up, though? This is your boy DTM, Deontay the Motivator, man. Welcome to Cheers, man. This is where everybody knows your name. You know, I just feel good right now. The weather's good. The sun is out. The birds is chirping. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. This is relationship reality, man. We missed y'all. What's happening?
Hey.
What? We look at each other like, what is he doing? Like,
You know what I'm doing? That's what I'm doing right there.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
You wanna go?
We can only give them a couple minutes before we get sued. So we're going to... We get a little bit of time before we... You know what I mean? So welcome to the spot where everybody knows your name, man. Y'all had a good week and weekend?
No.
We're gonna get it.
We're
gonna get into it though. You know what I'm saying? Still the Corona thing going on. We got still shut down on a lot of spots in the nation right now, but you know, we still surviving, and we still bringing you tangible information each week. You know what I'm saying? And in light of that, man, we got a lot of tangible information for you coming this week, man. The beauty of it is that, you know, life don't stop. So we get to see things firsthand all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, first,
all the time.
All the time. First on the list is, I got a question for y'all. I guess we can say, is this fair or is this foul? Is there a certain age for people to be doing videos on Facebook?
That's fair. Why would you not be able to do videos on Facebook?
What you say, Katie? Is there a certain age? Yay, nay?
I mean, depending on what the video.
It has to be appropriate.
If it's it got to be age appropriate. Yeah. I don't think it's an age limit or whatever, but I think it should be age appropriate. Like I done seen some really, really young kids doing that savage.
Classy.
Yeah.
Ratchet.
And that one part where you gotta like twist your ass, and I just feel like, you know,
it's too much.
Little kids shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's too provocative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But other than that, I don't. Just age appropriate.
Like even with that, I think you can do it, but it's got to end differently. Like I didn't see the one where they were doing that.
For your age.
I don't feel like they.
The parent was in the background at the end of the video with the belt. Like you better.
That was funny.
Yeah, so
that was funny.
I like that.
Or like the one where the little baby was doing it, and she looked in the corner of her eye and saw her daddy and took off running. Yeah, those are cute. But what I'm saying is like, you got these little girls with like these spandex shorts and these little sports bra, training bra, whatever. Doing them. For one, they shouldn't be dressed like that on social media.
Period.
Because period. But like walking around the house if it's 90 degrees, that's your thing. But videoing it is too much.
Oh man.
So here's
I don't have daughters.
That's why we don't have daughters. We don't have to deal with that. I'm not dealing with no little fast ass little girl that's 6 years old with spandex on. Like,
that's what I be saying.
I can't.
Especially posting it because you gotta think about that's where pedophiles get their stuff from. Like
always
you got somebody
lurking.
Yeah, your baby in somebody's spank bank. Like
and then you wonder why they pull up and sneak in your window.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like. But
so I feel like there's a verbiage thing to where if you start up your video with "Hey world, how y'all doing Facebook," and then you start talking, you know, I'm okay. So here's what a problem. Here's what a problem lies.
What we missed?
And when I seen it, I was gonna say something, but I was like, "No, I'm gonna hold this for the show because I wanted it to be, you know, fresh for everybody but myself. I wish I wouldn't have saw it myself, actually."
Oh, sure.
So, Mom's was on Facebook, and I seen the little play symbol over her face. And I'm like, oh, she did a video. So I'm like, let me see what this video is, because I got to make sure she ain't out here acting crazy. You know, because I'm very protective in that manner. All right, so I hit play on the video. And maybe toward the end of the show, I might play it for y'all just so y'all can hear how she started it off. But she was basically saying, like, she said, "Hey, world, I just decided to do a Facebook video to show you guys and tell you guys what had happened to me everything is fine, but this is what happened. Oh, no. So I get a friend who comes over today, and they drop off this balloon, and then she panned over so you can see the balloon floating in the air with no string on it. And she said, and the balloon said, "Get well soon." Appropriate. Mom had a little accident, had to go have surgery, been off work for about a month, right? So she's finna go back in a minute. Well, whenever all this stuff is over with, but they still working though from what she do. They are essential. And then she said, and then they gave me this card that came from my job, and I know who was behind it all, and it's all good, you know. So let me open the card up and show you guys what it says. I felt like I was watching Miss Rogers. That's too much. It felt like the Facebook version of Mr. Rogers was what was going on. So I felt like she should have been like putting her shoes on and putting her sweater on while she was doing it. But she said, so I opened the card and there's signatures from everybody that I work with, and I'm still a little baffled. So I look at it and it says, congratulations. So I'm like, okay, what is the congratulations for? Because the card literally just said like congratulations, and then people wrote. So you had to read what they wrote to see what they were congratulating on. So it said, congratulations on your new baby. Hope everything goes well. And so I was like, okay, all right. I ain't even talked to her about this yet because I looked at it yesterday, and you guys are here. We had a very, very eventful weekend, so I ain't really had time to call her about, you know, what the heck is going on. But she was like, yeah, so I know who was behind it, and she named the person who was behind it. And I don't know if she was saying it like he created it with the team as a joke or what was going on. But
I know the fuck she ain't pregnant though.
Oh no, we know that ain't true.
Oh yeah, cause she.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know that ain't true. But
I'm about to say, first of all, her youngest baby like 23. I know the fuck you ain't. Shit.
And that's what she said in the video. Pregnant? Oh no, all of my kids are grown, and my youngest is 23. I was waiting on, you know, one of them situations like she said last.
Somebody asked.
I have
no. So, matter of fact, that was that Taz gender reveal, and they was like, "Oh, what do you want?" And I'm like, "A girl," because I already got 3 boys. And then she was like, "I got 3 boys too." And me and Beyonce looked at her like. Here she go.
I remember it.
Oh shit! No, I don't.
I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, we was all sitting there. We all looked at her like, oh shit! No, I don't. Well, it don't matter. And walked away. We all sitting there puzzled as fuck. Like,
she really thinks she got 3 boys.
Hell, the world do too. The fuck.
I was about to say, which means whatever the other one is doing, she did it correctly.
Good job.
This was your goal.
Remember when we did that when we was teaching Taz like, what's God mommy? A girl. What's God daddy? A boy. What's TT? A girl. What's that person? A boy? Like, no. Bro, his whole face was like, a boy?
So confused.
Like, man.
Like, no, a girl. Like, you sure?
Man. But so I definitely got to reach out to her and see what the heck is going on that side of the world. But to me, I say foul. You guys said fair, you know, no age. But don't start.
So what's the age limit?
I don't think it's an age limit, but it's a verbiage limit.
Oh.
You cannot start your video. Hey world. There's a couple of things you can't do. Like there was somebody told me something similar to this. Like, you know, I do videos, so I can't start off my video like, oh hey, didn't see you there. How's it going? I'm Beyonce. Like, you know what I mean? So
we're not doing that.
So yeah, it's just certain things. It's an etiquette to this whole thing.
Yep,
so with that being said, hey world, this is relationship reality.
Like that.
Yeah, we're not doing that either.
Too much.
All right, hey.
I'll probably click off on it like, no, I can't.
Yeah, it's going. Yeah. The only reason I kept it going because I had to figure out what the heck was going on. Yeah. So here on Relationship Reality, we do give you tangible information. And we are very forthcoming on what's going on as far as being tangible with our lives in most aspects.
We ain't even tell the
So, right, this is news to one of the third greatest hosts in the world on the greatest podcast in the world. So, yeah, so let's get to it. All right, so, and take off.
Take off? What are we taking off?
Take off. So, here's the thing. Normally when we do give certain kind of stories or a certain situation, we try to talk in code in a way where, you know, people are not offended. But we're not going to do that on this one. We're going to be very forthcoming on this one. Because,
name? We drop it?
Yeah. No, we're going to go ahead and be very forthcoming because I don't want nobody to get lost in us saying so-and-so and this, that, and the third. So we got our insurance bucket up. Yeah. So here's what we got. During this quarantine time, you know, we've been limited on who we can see, what we can do, this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. But we're going to take it back a little bit further than this weekend, and we're going to go back to, what was the holiday, babe? Was it a holiday?
Yeah, that was Easter.
Easter. We're going to go to Easter. All right, so on Easter, we cook. Mm-hmm. You know, nothing major, but, you know, when I get in the kitchen, I kind of show off a little bit, and then... was that the day you did the macaroni?
That was the first time I made the macaroni.
So macaroni, Katie did the macaroni, and it was out cold. Now she turned to professional.
Like, I don't even want box macaroni no more. I'm like, oh, babe, can I make it? He'd be like, I mean, yeah, if you got the time.
You got patience. You gotta have patience for that.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. And then
it's always
they
better.
Eat it so, like...
Because it's always
fast.
But yeah, because so what happens is when we make the box macaroni, it's good too, but it's box macaroni.
Right.
But we make...
You know how that's going to taste already.
Right. We make a pot of that. Mm-hmm. But when you're making the real deal Holyfield macaroni, you got to get pans.
Exactly. Like, you got to make it bigger.
And you got to make almost 2 pans because you know it's about to go. Mm-hmm. But let's get back on it. So we was getting... It's Easter time. We doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? I tried to make it fun for the kids as far as like making... unique baskets for them.
That was funny.
You know what I mean?
You put like candy and stuff in like a glove.
So that's the baskets?
And called it a Corona Easter.
Oh, that was very unique.
And I made them find it.
Yeah,
I hid it in the house. I hid it in the house, made them find it.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like I separated each one, even the older one, even the grown kids. Like, look, this your room. Yours is in here. Yeah. I'll give you clues as you can't find it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So...
they enjoyed it. They was cracking up. They're like, I know Daddy did this. I'm like, y'all, I wouldn't have never came. I was just gonna get him all a bag of candy. He like, no, you gotta do something with it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so we, you know, I stuck like Kit Kats in the fingers, so the fingers were spread out, and cool. You know, Skittles and all the good candy. You know what I'm saying? Not like the what's that, the kettle corn or whatever that is.
I don't like those.
Worst.
I don't like those.
Is it called kettle corn? You talking about the Halloween one?
Yeah, worst candy ever.
It is something corn, but I can't. It's not kettle corn because kettle corn is like popcorn.
Yeah,
like
so the
popcorn. We like that.
The corn, whatever that corn candy is.
Yeah, the little orange.
Yeah. I feel like when somebody give me a bag full of those, they really don't like them.
I don't like them, and I don't like the Peps. What is that? Like the
marshmallow. Yeah. No, I can keep those too.
That's disgusting
too. So we do that. Everybody have fun. We chilling, having a good time, eating. Toward the middle end of the day, I get a phone call. Yeah, well, I get the call.
Oh.
Like in the middle. Like, you know, somewhere around 3-4 o'clock.
Oh.
Right? I get a call like, yo, what y'all doing? Like, nothing, you know, Corona time, so we chilling.
Right.
I did.
hate when people call me and ask me, what do you think I'm doing?
I'm nowhere.
I'm at home, for sure.
Take advantage.
Inside, outside, I'm at home.
Right. I might be on the patio, I might be inside, but I'm in this bitch.
Right. I mean, and this is the best time to pop up. You can't come through, but you can pop up and wave at the street, whatever you want to do. Especially
like Bells did that day.
Yeah, if we don't know you,
she had brought a chair and sat like by the tree, and then we was on the porch, but she came over for a couple hours. But yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah, so, you know, we get the call. I'm like, all right, cool. What y'all doing? This is from my father's brothers. You know, they was all about to go over there. So they over there. And I think they took food and stuff over there. So now my father had just overcame the coronavirus.
Right.
And, you know, he was giving us a story on how it felt and how he felt like he was close to death. And it was just horrible experience. So he felt good to be back at, you know, his regular self. So they like, y'all should come over. I'm like, nah, we're not doing that.
Wait, what?
Right?
You said this whole conversation?
Right. I'm like, no, not doing that. They was like, okay. So then a couple hours go by. They was like, well, we should come over there.
Definitely not.
I'm like, I'm against it, but you know, if y'all want to swing past, you know, maybe y'all miss our face. You know, I do got a face to be missed. They swing past, so they swing past eventually later on that evening.
So it was like 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's really shutdown time.
Right.
But because
like the boys was the boys wasn't even here. I had called them like, hey, your people over here, you should come home for a second. So they pulled up about 50 deep. It was so many. I was like, fuck.
Right. So they come over. They eat. I made some greens. She made the macaroni. Did we do roast? I did the roast that day. Like it was a phenomenal meal. Like they murdered it. I murdered it. It was good. So they get to talking, and we get to reminiscing and catching up because we ain't seen each other in a minute because you know it's been Corona time. Prior to Corona time, you know I grind hard. You know what I mean? I got 2 jobs. I'm trying to get the speaking thing off the ground. We podcasting. So you know we people got live. I got kids to take care of. I got godkids. I got extended kids. I got like you know, it's a bunch of stuff on the list, right? So they like, hey, you know, we missed you, whatever. So my one brother, I'm the oldest out of all my kids on both sides, my mother and father's side. But my one younger brother was like, you know, let's go outside. I want to just talk to you for a minute. I want to catch up, whatever. So we go out back and we catch up, we kick it. Then my sister come out. Now she is probably one of the closest of my siblings to me. Like I see her regardless. Corona, no Corona, we gonna kick it. And she got things going on in her life. She hit me up. I'm there for her. She come here, whatever. That's just how it is, right? So we all in the backside. You know, we keeping our social distance, but we kicking it. And words just go back and forth, and we all kind of having fun. But then I realized that my dad was kind of looking super familiar, right? So I'm looking, I'm like, I said, babe, he's looking real familiar to me right now. So she like, what you mean? So I explained to her it's my grandfather who passed away. My dad was looking just like him. I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, is there something going on? What's the deal? What's happening? But of course, when you in the midst of it, nobody really explains what's going on. You either got to catch it in the beginning or toward the end when they fed up with it, like type thing. Right? So at this point, he tipsy.
And he was drunk as hell.
Yep, he's tipsy beyond repairing, and he gets to expressing the way he feel about a bunch of different situations and things of that nature, right? He get to going off on how, you know, if you want your kids to do right, you got to shoot them. If you want this to happen, you got to shoot that. Like everything was very violent and a very weird conversation. And so we looking at it.
What?
And we
it got to the point where, so Keontae has a friend that actually was shot like 2 years ago?
2 summers ago.
Like 2-3 years ago, he was actually shot at his brother's house during a barbecue in the lot. Like they was barbecuing in the lot. And somebody who he had beat up a couple years before that actually was driving down the street and saw him. Yeah. And like went around the back of the house type shit. And he saw it. He said they made eye contact. And next thing he knew, his legs was burning. He took off running. He was shot in both legs. So his dad kept talking about shooting him so much that he left. He actually called somebody to come pick him up because he was uncomfortable. Because he like, is he really gonna shoot us? Like, and he was like, I don't really play like. And even JJ had pulled me to the side and was like, Mom, can you kind of ask him to chill? And I did, but
So he was making everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So he had a lot to say, right? So he was saying that, making him uncomfortable, making the kids uncomfortable, making a couple statements to KD, which ultimately made her uncomfortable. Like, whoa, where did this come from? But so she felt like at that point she was like, okay, it's not the first time I heard it, but it's the first time I heard it to this extent.
Right.
And she was like, but he was really drunk. So,
but your real feelings come out when you're drunk, which scares me. So.
And that, so knowing that, you be like, he was really drunk, but
that's probably how he feels.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So she was still trying to, like, shake it off, be cool about it, whatever. So then they ended up leaving. Ironically, a couple minutes after they left, or matter of fact, as they were leaving, the police was pulling up.
What?
Which is weird, but they had the wrong address. They was looking for, like, the neighbor. Somebody called. But it's because what we figured out is that they were kind of loud outside. So people probably really thought something was going on or whatever. But and it wasn't like a violent loud. Like, they were just kind of loud because they were drunk and every word. Now, when you drunk, I want you to hear what I got to say.
Especially because we're supposed to be quarantined.
Right?
So many people.
And then everybody's trying to overtalk, you know what I'm saying?
So, the police came.
It was late. If they came at 9, it was late.
It
was like 12.
They was leaving about 12. So the police like, did y'all hear anything from over here? So we like, nah. Not even
not
thinking.
even realizing that they met was y'all. Right.
We like, nah, we sit on the porch, right? Me and her at this point, me and KD. I'm like, nah, we ain't hear nothing. So they knock on the door. The neighbor opened up the door. Now, this is different. Now, I'm gonna have to go here. Because this is the truth.
Neighbor is a gay white man.
The neighbor is a gay Caucasian man.
Okay.
He opened up the door like, what?
For the police?
For the police. Knowing it was the police. He didn't call.
Oh, he didn't call.
No, he didn't call. They thought the noise was
I think somebody
coming
across the street called.
So they
but the police went over there.
Oh, okay.
So all you see is they flashed the light, they knock on the door. He's like, what?
Oh.
And he was like,
who the fuck is banging on my door like the police? He said, oh, it's the police.
So they like, everybody all right in there. He's like, yeah.
He was like, it's me, my sister, and 5 kids. What do you want? I don't need you banging on my door.
And it was late, so yeah, I mean.
Right? So, and the whole time I'm just sitting here looking like, oh, babe, he about to get shot. But she like, no. I'm like, if it was me, they would already had the tasers or something. Guess what he did?
After he cussed the police out, guess what he did?
Slammed
the door.
In their face?
Yes.
Boom.
My man was standing on the porch like,
and walked away.
Well, I guess everything good here.
And walked away.
And told the little backup man, like, everything's good.
Damn.
And got in the car and pulled off. I'm like.
I said, oh, I want to try that one day.
No.
Yeah, you might not want to try it.
I'll try it.
No. Let's go back. Though. Let's go back to when we moved into was that our first house or second house?
Oh, that was our first house.
We moved into our first house together. And we were moving in. And during the move, I cut myself.
And
I had on my little, back in the day, we used to wear our big white tees and all that. So I had my white tee on, cut myself, boom, blood on my white tee. Mm-hmm. But we in the crib. So we get everything moved in, but nothing's put up. Mm-hmm. So now we sleepy, so we kind of like fall asleep, putting stuff up. So we in the front room asleep. Mm-hmm. We hear a noise, and it was, so the house that we moved in, I guess somebody was trying to squat there, prior to that.
Okay.
But now we live here, they can't. They come back, they're like, oh, snap, somebody here. They leave. But the police come.
No, they bust out the window.
Oh, they bust
out the basement window. So I called the police.
So the police
I think they were trying to lift it, and they ended up breaking it.
Yeah.
So the police come. I open the door. And she's standing there with me. But she got my shirt on from earlier that day that I cut myself on.
The bloody shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
So before them even realizing, they pulled the gun. I was like, "Are you okay?" Like, they aiming the gun at me, yelling at her, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
I was so confused.
I'm like,
what?
It does.
I didn't even realize
the blood was on the
because I just grabbed the shirt and put it on.
Yeah.
I looked down and I was like, "Oh," I say, "So that's my blood." Ask me, am I okay?
But then too, we was like in the hood.
Yeah.
It took them fucking 3 or 4 hours to get there. We done fell back to sleep. We done whatever. Yeah. So by the time they came, I had to grab something, put it on, And that's what I grabbed.
Wow.
Alright, so back to it. So the police leave, whatever, that was that day. So, we kind of reminisce on what happened and kind of reassess the situation. And we like, wow, we never realized that this was how he felt about these certain situations. We'll get into the situations a little bit later when you get to the second part of the story.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, so we still, she shook it off. She let it go. She was like, cool. We talked about it. And, to me, I look at things like, if you got a problem with me, that's your problem. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? But now, if I get a problem with you, now we got issues. That's when the issues come into play. But if you got a problem with me, that's your problem. Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Go in your area, right? So, all right, now, let's fast forward. Did I miss anything before I fast forward? All right, let's fast forward. She shook her head. No, y'all.
Sorry.
So we're going to fast forward to Friday. That just passed Friday, which was the 1st of May. May 1st. First day in May.
Okay.
All right.
We got that. Check.
So on the day before the 1st, which was the 30th, I get a call from my sister. And she like, their birthday on the 2nd. So we want to go over there on the 1st. We're going to take some crabs.
They did like the seafood
They
roll
took a whole seafood hookup over. Boom. And it was his first time having that particular type of seafood. And I'm like, yo, I don't eat seafood. I'm allergic to it. I'll die. But I'll come. You know what I'm saying? We'll come. We'll show up for a minute. Mind you, my day started at 3 o'clock.
Early.
A.M. All right? And if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think I took a nap. So I worked from 4 a.m. because I got up at 3, got there at 4. From 4 a.m., I don't think I got off until
like 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Came home. We had to make a couple runs, pick up some stuff, get the food for the people else. We had to eat some ourselves.
Of course.
Because we can't eat that. And then...
I like to eat before I eat anyway.
Right. So we shoot over there. They got liquor and all this. And he was like, well, I didn't know what time you guys were starting. So I had already started drinking. Then he named
Here we go.
what he had started drinking.
Oh, goodness.
Which further let me know,
Oh, goodness.
okay, now you really in the familiar territory.
Oh, no.
So
drinking that bumpy face.
he was drinking what we call bumpy face, which for those who don't know is Seagram gin.
Oh.
We call it bumpy face because the bottle is
like when you
the
touch
ridges
the
on the bottle is
Oh,
bumpy.
I was just talking about that yesterday. I never knew why it was called that.
Yeah.
Because of how the bottle feels.
And so what's funny is on my arm I have a tattoo of my grandfather's name and his favorite saying, I am that I am. And when I was getting the tattoo, I remember me and Katie was talking. I was like, I don't want to put it in like no cross or nothing like that because he wasn't on that. I'm like, it's got to represent him. So I put it in a bumpy face bottle.
And we both said at the same time, oh, you remember that drink you used to always be hiding in the paper bag under the thing? So that's what we walked to the liquor store. First of all, a bottle of that shit ain't but $2. So we bought a bottle, took it, and then he got his.
Yeah, like we took the bottle to the tattoo artist, and he did his thing, and I'm like, yeah, because he wasn't on that. So I'm like, I gotta. So with him, they told him if you stop drinking, you can live longer. He said, when I don't drink, I'm not happy, so I don't want to stop drinking.
Of course.
So he kept it right. I want to live as longer. This helped me live. So he kept drinking. This was after like a foot amputation and all type of stuff, right? So. So he lived the kind of life that he wanted to live.
Yeah.
So when my dad disclosed to us that I had started drinking early, and he was drinking bumpy face, I was like, oh, heck no.
He didn't say heck.
I didn't.
He said hell.
What? I know that's bad.
I was like,
I know that's bad.
And so, but now the drink of choice that we brought over there, or that they brought over there, was Hennessy.
Okay.
2 gallons.
So two gallons of Hennessy.
Jesus. The big
and lemonade.
2 of them.
Right? So they were going to do Hennessy and lemonade. But he was already drinking.
Because they said Hennessy and lemonade is his favorite drink. Okay. So what my thought is, Hennessy and lemonade is his favorite drink when somebody else is buying it.
on somebody
when he
else.
buying it himself, he want the $15 bottle of Seagrams. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, like if you buying your own, maybe you try to drink cheaper than if somebody else buying it. Then
That's true.
So
I could be wrong, but
I like the same thing.
I mean, me too. I can afford.
But yeah, I mean, I do see people doing that. Though.
And then I see
I'm
it
not
too.
saying he can't afford what he drink. I'm just saying that if he gotta buy it, and probably because if he drinking. And if he's drinking it every day, nobody able to buy $100 bottle of liquor every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to scale back a little bit. So.
And I mean I see that often too. That's why like even when I go to the store with people, if I'm gonna decide to pay for it, I'm not gonna tell you.
I don't do that either.
I'm gonna let you get what you think you finna pay for, then I'll pay for it.
So even with dinners and stuff like that too.
Because if you know, if you know I'm finna pay,
you want steak, lobster, appetizer, dessert.
I'm like,
if I'm paying for it, you want the Benihana trio.
Everything.
If you paying for it, you just want 2 rices.
You want chicken.
like
you want no rice, just want chicken.
In the car, I heard you say you wanted chicken nuggets. Now you in here, you want the trio, you want some plum wine, you want a Benihana punch. I'm still here, but so yeah, I do that. Like
you was gonna buy the glass, now I'm paying for it, bitch. You want the whole
you want the bottle? How about this? What I use?
Bottle.
That's what I usually get.
Did you say a bottle? You know what? I'm not paying for it no more.
This what I usually get. Right. So all right, so we get over there, and the beginning of the night was pretty cool. We get there. My sister brought like the big block jingle thing. We playing that.
I love that game.
And the whoever make it fall got to take a shot. That's how they were doing.
Oh.
And it was fun. Like we were getting in, and it might have just been fun to me because I didn't lose, but I felt like it was fun for everybody else. He was interacting and everything, right? So then I got a younger brother, my youngest brother. He pulled me to the side. He's like, "Yo, can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "What's up?" So now, for me, I always assess the type of man that I am, like from every aspect. And to me, I feel like this is the only way you can improve the person that you are is by really assessing where you at, like in real life. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to say you good in this area when you really suck. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know. And me and Katie talk about it all the time. I'm like, I know I'm a phenomenal husband because I've really put in that area to be that type of husband. Like I've seen people that may not have been good husbands, and I know, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna really pour into her. I really like try to learn her every day. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I know when it comes to my kids, they know that I'm a great father. That's my thing. And I know when it comes to friendship, my friends know that they can hit me up whenever. We can talk about. I hesitated on the S because I ain't want no problem.
Friends.
Duh.
Oh.
You heard
Oh, I was confused. Okay,
no,
go.
You heard
Okay.
No, it's duh.
Okay. He'll be back.
But you know, for those who may be new to the show, me and Kiki been rocking for as long as me and Katie been rocking.
Oh my gosh.
So we in the 20s. So like I was telling Katie earlier, not to get off track, but it takes 20 years for a car to be considered a classic. So we are classic friendships in this room right here. Classic relationships in this room. So so he pulled me aside and he's like, "Yo, I really wish that you would have been in my life a little bit more." This is my younger brother.
Oh.
Right? And I was like, yeah. And I always knew that was part of my love. That was part of my fault. You know what I mean? Because I look at like one of my other younger brothers is in jail right now. And in the beginning, when he first went to jail, I blamed myself for years because he was hanging out with older guys. And I was like, man, I could have been that older guy. But at that time, I was still trying to figure out who I was and where I was supposed to be at. And then I had kids early, so I had to make sure my kids was good. I had to make sure when he got locked up, I had to make sure my soon-to-be wife was good. We wasn't married yet, but you know, I had a bunch of different. I had a bunch of different aspects that part fell through the crack for certain ones though. Because if you ask some of my other ones, they'd be like, "Nah, he's the bomb brother." Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but with him being the youngest, I can see that because like him and my oldest son is almost close in
They're
age.
like 3-4 years apart, I think. Yeah.
All right, so I'm kicking it with him, and me being a communicator, I'm pretty good at listening to him and really hearing what he got to say without thinking what I'm gonna say next.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, there's no rebuttal. I want to hear what you got to say. I really want you to get this out. And so he get everything out. I was like, bet we gonna work this out. We're gonna patch this thing up. Because he was like, the brother that I was with was too busy trying to please the street, but he was taking me with him. So this is what he taught me. But as I get to know my nephew, and I get to watch you and see how you rolling, I would have rather learned that part. And I'm like, yo, it ain't too late. You know what I mean? So we're going to patch this thing up. But this is when it gets pretty interesting. Because apparently the topic of every conversation prior to this day, and even today, I guess you would say, was me, my relationship, me not being there as much at like all of the gathering, me not responding to text messages in a group setting. Like, we got a group text setting hookup where it's like 11 people in a group chat. And
like him, all the siblings, his dad, his niece, his nephew, like
it is. And so
I'm not responding all the time.
They don't have my
either.
phone number.
I hate it.
I'm not responding all the time either.
Because, and this is the reason why I hate it. If I'm looking, and anybody who is in any group chat that I'm in, because I got a couple group chats that I'm in, if I don't catch this chat before I get to 37 messages, I'm not going to respond because you don't even know what I'm responding to.
Yeah,
I'm on this is gone.
And mine started to erase. I got mine set up so many messages they just started to erase.
Yeah, so they'll start something, they'll start talking, blah, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, what y'all doing, blah. And I look because I'm working or I'm doing something else. By the time I see it, it's on message 40. I'm going to open it, close it, keep it going. And I try to skim through the last few to see if there's something for me in there. But it don't be nothing like specifically for me. They just want me to say, oh yeah, or, you know, no, I don't have to, I don't know. That's not how phones work. Like my phone does not negate that I have to say something. Like, no, that's not how it works. I can or I don't have to, either or. And I think that's, some people get confused in that because they feel like, oh, you saw my call, why you ain't answer? I didn't want to. It gives you the option to either answer or decline. If you're supposed to answer, it would just automatically answer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. But now, at this point, my wife making drinks for people, right? She's doing her I don't want to say duty, but that's what she really only do that for me. But I'm gonna share, right? But I'm gonna share this beauty and joy with everybody else. And go ahead, do your thing. Even it was one, like my younger brother had a friend there. She made this drink. I don't care, but I do because it's not her place. If they was here, like in our home,
right,
I would feel like
hosting here.
Right.
Yeah.
So now
real nice.
we're getting separated.
Real nice.
Right. We're getting separated, right? So they pulling her aside, they talking to her, and some of them pulling me aside, they talking to me, and the conversation with me is a little different than the conversation going with her. And then my dad is starting to express the way he felt
again
20 something years ago, 18 years ago.
Oh no.
All right. So here is his problem. Here's what he's mad at.
That sound good.
And I'm gonna give this to you. You tell me what you think. All right. So
I'm already mad because why are we still talking about something how you felt 20 years ago?
So June of 2001, I graduated. August of 2001, I had my first baby. September of 2001, I stepped into manhood like, yep, got a baby. Me and my girlfriend moved together. We finna make this work, right? His problem was the way I stepped into manhood and left. Never went back, never thought back, never had to say, Dad, I need another 6 years to
Who
live
does
it.
that though?
But so his problem was, and he was really strict. If he wasn't as strict as he was with me, I may have did it a little bit different.
Not really, because that's the way it was supposed to
But so his thing was, I said, okay, babe, let's do it. I'm in college, I'm working, we got a baby, we can make it work. And we got together, struggled it out, and made it work.
Right.
But when I left, I only had a room there, right? So I said everything that I kind of wanted, put it in this little sheet like Charlie Brown did, threw it on my shoulder, and listened to the music and walked away. Right. I put it in my little red Cavalier. You know, popped it. I couldn't put it in the trunk. I had speakers in the trunk. So I put it in the back seat.
I know this.
Dang. I had my 15s in the trunk. I couldn't put it in the trunk. But
glad them days over.
Man. So, I tried my little TV, all that. I was doing my thing in my little Cavalier. But I left. Mm-hmm. And he asked my sister like a week or two later, like, yo, tell D come on downstairs and eat. And she said, he moved out 2 weeks ago. So, but I mean, he was strict to the point where at this point, I done graduated, I'm in college, I got a baby, and you still want me to come in the house at 10 o'clock. Or don't come in the house, right? And there were times I would come in at 10:10, and he would have the door propped to where I couldn't get in. So I'm like, okay, I get you. It's your crib, this is how you want to lay the law.
Exactly.
I'm going to do my thing. So I dipped off. But he felt like, you stole my son. He could have been to the NBA. And I stopped him right there. I was never that good to go to the NBA. I don't even want to play myself and think that I was. I know I wasn't that good to go to the NBA. I was hood good.
Oh my, you know what I'm saying?
If And1 was out being like that, I probably would have been on And1 a little bit, a couple videos or something. But I wasn't like NBA good. You know what I'm saying? If I was, I would have been playing in college. But no, that didn't happen. But he felt like, I guess, I left with her. And now when they have stuff, they want to blame her for me not coming.
You got your own family though.
I'm like, listen, but so my younger brother, and it's so weird that my younger brother and my dad think the same way. You put your kids in front of, you put your wife in front of.
That's what you're supposed to do when you're family, though.
But when they said it, I was like, is that wrong? Like, is that not how things are supposed to go? Like, when you put the levels in place, when does that?
That's how it's supposed to go.
I don't understand.
I thought, maybe I'm wrong.
So I was super confused. But the part that really got me was what they were saying to her, which I didn't even hear at first. Because she would get it, take it on the chin, go outside for a minute, come back in and smile. So when I tell y'all, I don't know who, we got listeners all over the country right now. But if you know Katie personally and known her, I'm going to say 2 years ago, let alone if you known her 6 or 7 years ago, 7 years ago, she probably would have slapped my daddy.
She definitely done grew.
5 years ago, she probably would have just cussed him out. 3 years ago, she probably would have stormed out like, babe, I'm ready to go. You can stay, whatever. A year ago, she probably would have, ain't no time. She probably would have got drunk with him and went in and been able to blame it on the liquor. But this Katie right here was like, oh yeah, oh, okay, oh, that's bold, okay.
What?
And she was really on a whole nother level of KD. Right?
I'm so proud of you. Girl.
And that's what I said. I'm like, oh, what? Okay. So I'm like, I felt like I was looking in the mirror because I felt like that's how I would have kind of handled things if the shoe was on the other foot and her people was coming at me like, you just stole my baby away. Or I probably would have cracked a joke like, you want her back now? Or, something like that to try to ease things over. But I'm talking about she killed it.
What?
Right? But that wasn't even the end of the night, dog.
What?
It gets
you
a little.
That night?
It gets a little more interesting.
I ain't even gonna lie.
It gets a little more interesting. So here's the thing: one of my brothers talks really loud, but says nothing. But he wants to be heard saying nothing.
Yeah.
So he's not even listening to what you're saying because he's focused on the next statement that he had to say about nothing.
What he's saying don't even make sense.
Yeah. Like there was a time when my dad was trying to say something, and he wanted to say what he had to say first.
So bad.
And so we kept saying, "Shut up!" The birthday man trying to speak, and they was like, "Well, just let him finish what he got to say." And I'm thinking to myself, this is the problem. Y'all keep letting him finish what he got to say. Yeah. And you know what he had to say?
Nothing.
My dad got to speak, so we're going to let him go ahead and say what he got to say.
What?
I'm like, you over talking everybody else to say that he got to speak. When we telling you, just shut up and let him speak. But that's that. But him and my younger brother are now, because my younger brother's still trying to get out his feelings, and he's like, this is why I leave every time, because y'all get emotional and then y'all start talking over everybody and just start going at everybody and just disrespect whatever. So he's like, this is why I always leave towards the end of the night. And they looking at me like, I see why you don't be coming, but it ain't
got nothing to do with that.
It ain't got nothing to do with that, right? So, so they ended up arguing and going in, but when you drunk, you get to saying stuff to everybody that should not be said. Even if it's the way you feel. When you drunk, it's some things you just shouldn't say, right? So, and I heard, so he made a statement to my little sister. And it was like, I was like, whoa. Whoa. At this time, like, some people be going through struggles and storms. And you don't want to hear certain things when you're going through the struggle or storm at that precise moment. Even if, I can't even say even if you have to say it, because what was said did not ever need to be said, because it didn't help nobody in no kind of way. Like, my whole thing is like, things that people need to hear is something that can help you along the line somewhere. Even if you don't see it right now, like later in life, you be like, oh, I get it now. But no, this statement had nothing to do with nothing. And I watched him say it, my dad, and I watched her take it, and I watched her whole move switch immediately. So she stepped out. So ultimately, instantly, I'm going to check on her. So I go check on her. And we outside for maybe 2 minutes top before KD come to the door like, yo, they about to fight in here. Or they ain't here fighting.
What?
So I'm like, all right. So now I go back inside. And it's my youngest brother and the brother who always has to be heard. Now they're going at each other. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, literally tussling. And the weight difference in each one of them, the youngest brother is 75 pounds wet with $17 worth of quarters in his pocket. And the older brother is 75 pounds times 10. No, I ain't gonna say times 10. But he at least 300. But he's 6'2".
I'm about to say, ain't he like 2 feet taller than him?
He like 6'2", about 310 pounds.
It'll be like DTM, like tussling with Trey. Like the size.
Or Gary and Trey.
Yeah, or Gary and Trey.
So I'm like, he got the bigger brother got the little brother like hammed up over the stove, and I come in and I separate the two. I push the bigger brother into the living room and make him sit down. And at this point now, my dad pissed off. He like, everybody, just get the F out. Yeah. Like, he going in. And the whole time, like, you kind of started this. But I didn't say it. Because that wouldn't have been the right time. It wouldn't have helped nothing anyway. But now, they done took, my younger brother that went outside. He had his friend with him. So I don't know if I don't know how they ended up down the street.
They just started walking down the street. Because I was out there talking. I was checking on Shay. So,
they walking down the street. And then
the boy got a car. I don't know why they didn't get in the car and leave. I think when his little brother started walking down the street, his friend was going behind him
to check on him or
to make sure he was good, because he was upset.
Because now from the friend's perspective, you're really limited on what you can do.
Right.
Because you can't really jump in. You can't really, because now everybody is turning on you like. So he kind of in the spot like,
he left out.
Yeah, and that was smart.
Yeah.
Because even when he went down the street, the bigger brother was trying to divert the attention to him. Like, I don't know him, and I just want to talk to my little brother for a minute. And the younger brother was like, I ain't trying to talk to you right now. I don't know when I'm gonna be ready to talk to you again. Whatever. Like, he just kicking it. And then the younger brother ended up arguing with the sister, and he started yelling the same thing. You put your kids in front of me, and I was like, she's supposed to.
That's what I'm confused about.
I'm like, that's how it goes on the chain. Like, so she, and then they just started going in on, like, her choice of who she wanted to be with and who she was with in the past and what's going on. This, that, and the third. And I'm just sitting here looking like, where did all y'all go wrong? Like,
where did it go wrong again?
And prior to this is not the reason why I didn't come. But it's now the reason why I'm not coming.
Yeah, that's too much.
Because, so now, my question to you would be, do you think I'm wrong for not attending anything in the future because of, my job is to protect, first off, my wife. And if I feel like she's not happy or she's not feeling comfortable at whatever spot, I feel like for me, I'd be a sucky man to take my wife somewhere. Like if I go to the hood,
husband,
right, or person, period. If I go to the hood and I can only go to this certain place with 2 pistols on me, and one got to be loaded and cocked and ready in my hand, the other one got to be ready close by, and I'm like, come on, babe, go with me. I know I got beef over here.
She want to be protected by her husband at the end of the day. So if she don't feel comfortable going to a place, family or not, I don't feel like she should have to go, and you should. I mean, and
that's what I was telling him. Like,
make her go there.
And so her thing was like, I don't want it to be because of me. I'm like, no, it's not because of you. Right. It's because of them.
Right. And who want to fight? Right? You go to family events to have fun, to enjoy each other, like. Not to, like, I don't want to go anywhere where it's going to be fighting and, like, talking about something that happened 20 years ago. And, like, I knew it was going to be bad from when you said it was.
and
08, like.
For me, I think
for me,
it was hard for me because, like, I've never treated them like any less than family. Like, I've never. Like, his dad's birthday and my dad's birthday are, like, right by each other. Mother's Day right there. Like, I've never done stuff for my daddy and not done it for his. Right. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? I've never, even, like, for Mother's Day, I get him a card or something because he was a single father for a long time. So, the way they was talking to me, I was just like, I never knew that they had so much hatred and dislike for me.
And all this time. That's the part that will hurt. Like, if you would have told me this, like, back at that time, I could have accepted that. We could have talked about it. But to bring something up that was so long ago, 20 years ago, like,
and they talk, and
that means you still feel like that.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
And it's like the way they talked to me, it was so much hatred in the way they was talking to me. I was just like, I'm confused.
That's crazy.
Like, I never knew. Then, like, his one sister, like, she don't even come around that often. She like, that's why we should have just had my daddy kids here, because when you let extra people in here, that's when all the drama started.
Really?
So she was trying to make it seem like all that was going on was my fault.
Oh my God.
Which was funny because she had no play in none of it. She was literally just taking it on the chin from whatever everybody wanted to say. Almost like she was like, okay, that's how you feel. Get it all out. Expecting, because even from the first, the Easter incident, I was like, okay, he felt like that. Hopefully, he got it all out. Now we can rebuild, because the problem is, if you can't rebuild, if every time I see you, you tell me how I'm this and how I'm that, and I ain't been this or that in so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but like I told her, I said, he's going through some stuff right now that he don't want to talk about for whatever reason.
It's definitely something if he's drinking that much. Yeah. Something is
and
not
so
right.
Now, if you went over there every day and he drank every day, then I'd be like, well, maybe it's you. But we never go exactly. From what they said.
Right.
We never show up, right?
Never show up to nothing.
Then he played this song. Like, I don't even remember the song, but he was like, you need to listen to this song, because then you will understand why I don't like you. Because you took my heart and soul from me. And I'm like, huh? When
that when part I just don't understand that.
So the song which is weird, It's a Rochelle for Real song. Now the younger generation might not know nothing about that. I know I got a couple older heads that's listening right now that know a little bit about Rochelle for Real. But it was not a...
Just the name alone just got me.
Yeah, but it was not a I hate you type song. Oh. It was like, I think it's called Till You Come Back to Me. And it was just, you know, it's one of those... Have you guys... I don't know if you ever watched Living Single. Mm-hmm. And you know, it was like Kyle used to sing these little... It was one of those type songs. Maybe I'll play it toward the end of the show. But I'm like, this ain't even that type of song for it to be dedicated to that situation.
Right. Hatred that I didn't even know you had.
I'm like, if you don't think of a song that you hate, it had to be like an Eminem else. Kim song or These Hoes Ain't Loyal or something. like,
no, he was saying like the song is how he feel about you. And I took that from him. That's what he was saying. Like,
that's what it sounds
like. He like, because if you sit down and listen to this word for word, then you'll know how I feel about my son.
You want his son to come back to
and him. Then you will know why I feel like I feel about you. So I'm like, I guess I'm just confused because I don't know what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't never come to nothing. Or he say he coming and he don't come. And I was like, so... in y'all mind, is he like getting dressed, walking out the door, and I'm saying, no, you can't go? Mm-hmm. And they like, well, if your family has something, what your family having, go before what our family having. I said, that's not true. Mm-hmm. It's been plenty of times I done went to my family stuff, and he done came over here, and we done met up later. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not, no, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told him, like, for the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years, we've always had Thanksgiving at our house. Mm-hmm. Well... when his dad got married, they started having Thanksgiving at their house because she got kids and, you know, like her sisters and brothers, whatever, they need somewhere to go because her parents live in Georgia. Mm-hmm. So he goes over there for a couple hours and then he come home. I don't go because all my family come over here on Thanksgiving. That's always been my holiday. Yeah. I do Thanksgiving, my brother does Christmas. Mm-hmm. That's always been that way. Mm-hmm. And then Christmas Eve, we used to go to his dad's house. Mm-hmm. Well, this Christmas Eve, I asked them, I said, are they having anything? They never said that they was having nothing. So we had something here with the boys. Mm-hmm. And then they like, y'all didn't even show up. I'm like, who knew? Mm-hmm. They like, y'all knew. I'm like, well, last year it was over Tiffany's house. The year before that, it was, I think, Lucas' house. So if nobody say where it's supposed to be, then how do we know where to go? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't think that's fair.
That's in that group chat that he didn't read.
But I don't think it's fair that it becomes my fault. And then it's like, how the fuck I become public enemy number one? Right. And then this goofy bitch keeps saying slick shit. I'm like, bro.
And that was the whole.
That's like,
that was the whole thing with me because I was like, for one, you can't talk about people who don't show up. From a person who never showed up.
I was just about to say, like, you can't complain about it. Because
this individual...
I don't even think you ever met her before. Mm-hmm. The one sister. I don't think you ever met her before. Mm-hmm. So they tell you...
I was going to say that. I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I saw pictures on Facebook, and I was like, who's that?
Exactly.
And I had no idea.
And she... If you don't come pick her up and take her...
Oh, she's not coming.
Oh, but only to that, though. Because there are, if it's something she want to do, she'll find a ride, find a way and get there. But only for this side. But I mean that's beside the point of if you feel a certain way, say don't pretend for a bunch of years. And
that's what I'm saying. That's what I think. That probably would be the most hurt. I would be the most hurt by. Like, I mean, I get how you feel. Like my parents probably felt the same way because I kind of did the same thing. Like I left the house at 19 to go, you know, be with, you know, at that time with the husband that I had. And I never went back.
Right.
So it was like, they didn't complain about that though. You know, they was kind of mad because I didn't like tell them I was leaving. I kind of just like didn't come back. Yeah. All my stuff still at my parents' house. Everything's the clothes still over there, bed, like dress, everything.
You just didn't come back.
I literally just didn't come home. And my dad was like,
they still calling you like, come make your bed up.
My dad was like, well, I just had noticed that, you know, you used to clean the kitchen and do the bathroom, and I'm noticing you haven't been here in a few days. Like, it's not as clean as it. Yeah, basically, like, it's not as clean as it usually is.
Nobody cleaned the bathroom.
He was like, did you move out? And I'm like, I think because it wasn't, like, planned. I just was like, you know how you get with a boyfriend, and it's like,
just like spend the night,
and then, yeah. So, I mean, I just never came home after that.
before we knew it, we done spent 11 years worth of nights together.
Right.
That's how
Two
it was.
babies.
So, I mean, I get how they would feel, but I would say something then. I wouldn't wait 20 years and, like, start drinking and, like, bring it out then. Like,
And then they like, some like, all he care about is you and them kids. Like them kids as if they're not his kids.
that's what I'm
like,
saying. I feel like when I was in my relationship and married, like, my family came first. Like, of course, if we weren't doing something in the house, then we would go elsewhere. But if we having Easter at our house, if we having Christmas at our house, like, I'm not gonna make it to some of them events. Like, I mean, that's simply put, my family, my husband, and my kids come first.
I just feel like the family you create is more important than the family that you came from.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, so if he not coming to basketball games or football games because y'all having a barbecue at the house, then who hurt? His kids. Because he don't miss their games and stuff. So if he start missing games to come to your barbecue, now his kids hurt and that's okay?
No.
Because siblings supposed to come from, like, that's the part that's confusing to me. Because I told him, I said, not only do my kids look forward to Deontay being there, the other kids look forward because he like the team dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you want him to miss out on that stuff?
No, I had my time when I was a kid and I was at home. We spent a lot of time together then. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, we're adults now. We have to do adult things when we have kids and families.
And then they like you don't even bring your kids to like the grandkids stuff because I guess they be having like grandkids day where everybody bring their kids over there. I don't know about those things, but what y'all need to understand is that when those days do come, the only ones that's probably gonna come with me is my 12-year-old and my 5-year-old.
Right.
The reason is because my 19 and 18-year-old definitely not coming.
That's what I'm saying.
First of all, my 19-year-old already told me, he sat me down and he said, check this out. I'm never going over there. I don't even want to be around dog no more. So I'm like, okay. My 18-year-old, I probably could get him to go if I begged him a lot, but it'd have to be like he got to have a car. So when he ready to go, he can go. My 15-year-old, no, they have their own lives. You know what I'm saying? You want me to? So you telling me you want me to force them to come over here with a bunch of little kids?
I would never.
And then for 2, you want me to force them to do a video call? They not doing it.
Yeah.
They like, since when kids get to make their own decisions? When they 15 and 18 and 19. Like, no.
But my thing is, when do you reach out and do anything for us? So we supposed to always do everything that y'all want us to do, but when do you come over here and see the kids or do anything? Like,
and
it's like give and take. You know what I mean?
That was her point that she made.
You
like,
have to give and take. Like, if you're not coming over here at all, why am I going on my way to go see y'all every holiday or every whatever?
I'm like, y'all never been to a birthday party.
That's what I'm saying.
Where y'all was at for prom send-off?
They told me.
I don't have time for that.
Where was y'all at for his birthday party? Now, you was at all these events. Who you saw? And the only reason why Tiffany wasn't there, because she be at everything. Yeah. The only reason why she wasn't there is because she was having Jordan. Otherwise, she would have been here too. His dad came to both the prom send-off and the graduation party. But what I'm saying is, none of his brothers and sisters came. So it's my fault that my kids don't know you. When I invite you to everything, you don't show up.
Ever. I be feeling like that
like,
too.
How's that
if I invite you, I feel like it's give and take. If I invite you to stuff and you don't show up, and then I'm coming to all your events, like, that's not. How long do you think that's going to work?
Right.
Because I'll do it twice before I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not coming to anything else. Like, why am I always coming to your birthday, kids' birthday parties, and all of this? You haven't been to not one of mine.
Not one.
Not even going to get invited anymore. Like,
then they say stuff like, well, we wasn't even old enough. Like, what? Like, my son only 18, bro. He not 35. And, okay, you wasn't old enough when he was little because nobody would bring you whatever. So what about now that you're a grown-ass person?
Exactly.
Somebody, you didn't even come to my baby shower. Like, who the fuck? When did you have a baby? Like, I don't talk to y'all. Like,
and that's a funny thing because I never knew that his baby was even coming until he posted a picture that the baby is here. Now, the baby is how many months? Maybe.
I think she was born in June.
Yeah, so she probably about to be 1.
Yeah.
But
for that, he knew that the girl was pregnant. He thought the girl got rid of the baby. Oh. But she didn't. She just wanted to get rid of him.
Oh.
So
then when the baby was coming,
once it got closer to the due date,
she's like, hey.
Her mama said, why he ain't been around? And she was like, oh, I had told him I had got abortion. And her mom was like, why would you do that?
Who does that?
And she was like, because I didn't want to be bothering him. Like, he this. And her mom said, that's not right. that's not right to your daughter. So then she ended up calling him like, okay, well,
hey,
I didn't do what I
said
I
was
going to do.
Hey.
I didn't do what I said I was going to do, and she'll be here any day. Oh, it's a girl, by the way. Like, huh? Oh, my baby shower. I think she was like, oh, my baby shower, like, tomorrow.
What? I'd be so pissed.
So then, like, he said they sent, like, the invitation to the group chat, but we probably already have something going on.
I was just about
like,
to say, that's too short of a notice, though, when you got a whole family. Like, yeah.
I'm like, but that was my fault that he didn't go. Because I said, no, you're not going to your brother's baby shower.
You're so mean.
I mean,
I'm that type of person.
You know,
do stuff. I can't even imagine you saying
that's
no.
What I'm saying.
No.
Like,
first of all, he a grown ass man. If he want to go somewhere,
first of all, I said, have y'all ever met him before? Like, he ain't no soft ass pussy ass nigga. Well, I'm like, he like, oh, I really want to go see my people, and I'm like, no,
go sit down. Straight, sit down. You're not going nowhere.
As a matter of fact, go upstairs, cause you out of order asking to go over there.
You know how big he is.
Like the funniest thing about the whole thing was, like, they were praising an attribute of ours and tearing it down at the same time. Because they were saying,
is that the goal?
They were saying like,
over?
Didn't I say that?
I almost like that was the goal to invite y'all over, like to get that out. They probably had a whole like meeting and everything for that.
Well, from my understanding, because the next day his sister called to check on me. She was like, I just want to make sure you was okay. She was like, because girl, they was going in on you for about 40 minutes. I said, I'm aware. I'm aware.
I figured that.
And she said, she was like, but to be honest, it always go like that.
Oh.
Like, bro, why you didn't say nothing though? She like it always go like that. Like every time we get together, they get to drinking, they get to talking about how much they don't like you.
She didn't say nothing.
She said she didn't think they was gonna say nothing.
But still, you knew they was talking about that. Like I mean, we close enough that you could have said something.
Yeah. She said they always talk about how they don't like me and how he could have did better, and I'm the one that stopped him from doing stuff.
What?
But I'm like, bro,
That's so weird.
First of all, we the only people that been together as long as we've been together. Like, who else?
That's what I'm saying. So they was praising one attribute of us being together for so long, and you guys are an idle relationship, and I'm married now because of you guys, because y'all do your thing, and I want that, and this is what we want, and this and that, but we don't like you.
They're like,
we don't like y'all being together.
You ain't never given him a chance to grow up. I say, you don't know what I've been through.
Y'all just grew together. That's
but not only that, but you don't know what I've been through. You don't know how much growing he done did since we've been together. So you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all from the outside looking in. Like, y'all don't know what we go through at home. Like,
he could have been a whole different person. Not good. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely think I would have.
You know what I'm saying? It could have been a whole different way. He could have been in jail.
I definitely think I would have been
like,
on a whole different path of
DTM used to be a little wild.
Hell yeah. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, I don't know. It just hurt my feelings because it was like, and then it was coming from so many, like everybody. His dad, his brother, his black ass sister.
I don't even know how you stayed. Honestly, I would have been.
I kept going outside.
I would have been so hurt. Like, I would have been so hurt. I wouldn't even be able to, like, look at them.
Like, when we got in the car, like, I broke down real bad. Once we got in the car, like, I wasn't gonna cry in front of them. But when we got in the car, I was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know where it came from. Even I had asked Miss Brown, like, where did that come from? And she was like, they always been saying that.
Wow.
They say I was upset. Stuck up and like,
what?
I'm like,
I was upset because I didn't know that it was going on to that extent because they kept pulling her aside. And they were doing it. And then she would disappear and come back with a drink. So I'm like, oh, maybe she's just taking drink or whatever, and she doing, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I kind of looked over there and seen her face like, whoa, something look different.
Yeah, something not right. Yeah.
It's a hair in the butter right here. You know?
They was going in.
But I mean, I told them, I'm like, if my kids or my wife need my kidney and you need my kidney, sorry, you're gonna die. Because they finna get the kidney. Now, if both of them need one, then whoever win the battle will probably get the kidney. I don't know. But you flip a coin, whatever happened. Or I give them one and the other one, and then boom, there we go. But I'm like, nah, it don't go like that, man.
Yeah, they was off the chain. But I told him, like, when we left, I'm like, I don't feel like I should ever have to go back over there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go.
And he was like, don't worry about it. You don't have to.
That's way.
I wouldn't even let her, even if she felt like it was cool. Yeah, I'm like, that's
now you know how they feel. It's like once people really tell you how they feel, it's like you look at that a whole different way. You're like, okay, I get it. Like,
you can't.
Almost like they was like, oh, I can't wait to see her again because
I got some stuff to get off my chest.
I feel like they planned that. Like they kind of like.
And that's what I said. Like normally I don't go. Like it started being weird about a year ago. Like I would go over there and I would speak to everybody and they would like be like dry highs or whatever. So I'm like, okay. And then like after that I was like, I'm just gonna stop going over there because they just started acting weird towards me. Yeah. So I'm like clearly they be talking about me because when I come around, like his wife, like if his wife, daughter, or his wife family over there, when I come around, none of them will talk to me. So I just feel like y'all be talking about me so bad because they don't know me.
Exactly.
So y'all talk about me so bad that they don't even want to fuck with me.
They don't even want to get to know me.
Yeah, because they already have a preconceived notion of how I am.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. So I had stopped going over there to a lot of stuff because I'm like, I'm not going to go nowhere and feel uncomfortable. Like, I like to have fun.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to be...
Especially in that environment. That's what I'm saying. It's like you go over there and it's supposed to be so happy and joyous. And like, if you feel uncomfortable around family, that's...
Like, if y'all having fun before I get here, and now I'm here and I feel the fun getting sucked out the room, then I feel like I should leave so the fun could come back. You know what I'm saying?
It's quiet. She walk in, he walk in, and it's quiet.
It's like,
they like, somebody turn some music on or something.
It's them. Like, okay. So, like, I haven't been over there in a long time. And his sister was like, please come. It's just going to be us. Like, whatever. So, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll come. So, then I wish I never would have went there. Like, I wish I'd have been like, no,
and that's
well, I'm glad you went because now you know. You know what I'm saying? Because you would have went on and on not knowing how people felt about you. That's true.
And she asked me, she said, baby, how you...
It is what it is.
She's like, you all right? How you feel? I'm like, it's weird that they say I never came to nothing. And I liked them more when I didn't come to something.
Exactly.
Now that I came to something, I don't really like you like that.
Yeah,
and I probably won't come back again. Now, you can put this excuse on why I ain't come back. You can say whatever. But like I told her, I was like, how people feel about you is their own business. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's their own whatever they got.
It's not like you did anything for them to feel that way.
And that's what I was telling him. I was like, I just don't feel like I did nothing wrong for them to like... I always, like, they come over, I make sure they eat, I make sure they have something to drink. Like, I don't treat them no different than I treat my own brothers and sisters. So, I don't see my own brothers and sisters but every so often. So, it's like, it's not abnormal to me not to link up every day. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I told them, I said, listen, I don't want y'all to feel special and feel like I'm just ignoring y'all group chat. I don't answer group chat. I don't, people be like, call me. I don't call
you barely talking our group chat. Right. Only 3 people.
We be having like 17 messages. And he'll come through with me like, oh, he is still in here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the image.
Right.
Love the image. I be like, what the fuck?
That was my 2020 goal. On my resolution, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start jumping back into some things a little more. Not everything, because I still want to jump and try that one, but I would jump into a couple. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom texted me like, your grandma wants you to call her. I said, I texted her back. I said, okay. When you text me so low, I text you back quick. I was like, okay. I still ain't called her yet, though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, my bad. I got a guy who I've been working with, you know, in the speaking piece. And he was doing his thing, doing my thing. I'm like, yo, when we connect together, we're gonna be good. He hit me up, but he don't really hit me on my phone though. He hit me like on Facebook.
Oh Lord.
And he'd be like, call me. I'd be like, okay.
I hate when people do that. That's the word.
He wrote his wall today, like, did I do something to you? I'm like, that's weird. Like,
I'm like, no, I'm not soft. On that. You know what I'm saying?
Soft, bro.
I'm like, I got people like
I felt the emotion. Like, did I do something? Are you mad at me? I'm like,
okay, you did.
Like we do. Yeah, well, I didn't call him after I said okay.
Okay.
But I'm like, I'm gonna hit you up. Give me a minute.
First of all, you forget. Like,
yeah, but
if I call right then, I'm definitely gonna forget.
I'm like, so we do the podcast every week. Sometimes throughout the week we don't kick it. No, y'all do.
I'm about to say we talk.
But I don't really, I jump in, make sure
every so often.
Yeah, but I'll see y'all messages not like that. Everybody good. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody good.
But
I said that. I was like, sometimes I text him throughout the day and he don't text me back. They like, that's different. I'm his wife. How's that different?
So if he's not responding to you, he definitely not gonna respond to everybody else.
I got a homeboy that I see him every so many months, and we catch up on what we missed, and then boom, we good. Like that's just I don't know. I'm working on that piece. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna let y'all tear me down while I work on that piece.
That's
like
life,
that.
Though.
And they ain't gonna be the reason.
I'm sure nobody responds to like all their messages. I know I don't.
So, but the word that was said was, when you don't respond, that's disrespectful.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, if I had a husband, I would respond to him. But if that's the only person I feel like I would have to respond to.
That's
and we live in the same house, so I don't even have to respond. I just respond when I see you.
When I see
that's how I feel.
So you know what I'm saying? So other than that, and my kids. But other than that, I don't feel like I need to respond to anybody else.
I don't either.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
Whenever said, I was like,
group chat. Like if it's a group chat, how is it different?
Oh, I definitely don't answer all them group chat. I'm in like 5 group chats. I definitely don't respond.
Yeah, like you can't, and that's what I said. You can't make me respond. You can't make me answer.
And then like sometimes stuff don't need my response.
Exactly, it don't pertain to me. So what am I responding to?
Then he told me,
I'll be like, yay, or love the image, or like the image. I can't even do that because I got no iPhone. Like,
so you're gonna type in there like the image?
No, I just gonna part it. Like, fuck.
He was like, he like, these other kids don't even know who Taz is, and I think that's effed up. And I was like, I mean,
he know who he needs to know.
I'm like, he done had several birthday parties that nobody showed up to, so it could be effed up all you think it is, but at the same time, nobody has made the effort.
I gotta say, you got to put in the effort to get
I'm like,
the effort.
He know,
you gotta
he
put
know.
it in and get it out.
Okay, that's why when they be like, you don't even know my kids. I got 5, you don't know mine either. I'm not offended by that though.
Right.
But my other brother, who stays out of state, he got to be the funniest one because he would tell you before you tell him how they said, y'all don't even know my kid. He gonna say, who is that little nigga? Or when is his birthday? Or where he come from?
What if you like, what's your kid's name again?
Something just happened. Serious.
But you know that's how he is though.
Yeah, that's real.
He used to be over my house all the time and couldn't remember Keontae and DJ.
Oh, okay. He just like that.
Somebody posted some pictures.
He be drunk as fuck.
Somebody posted some pictures in the little group chat, and it was like their kids or something, right? Mm-hmm. And he jumped in like, ain't nobody gonna say it, or should I say it? So nobody said nothing. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna say it. Who are those? Who they belong? Where they come from? I'm sitting here rolling. I'm like, dog.
Aww.
But yeah, so maybe they want that. They want somebody to, say it before they say it. Hey, y'all know I ain't gonna answer. Like,
he like, all I know is you got one kid that was born August 20th, 2004. He like, cause that's the day I left for college. And I wasn't able to see the baby. That's the only kid that I know for a fact that you got. I don't know which one it is.
Oh my god.
I don't know which one it is. I know it's a boy because that's all you got. And I know that's his birthday. I'm like, Bible, it's DJ. And he was like, I'm gonna remember that. Watch.
I mean, you should. I got the
I'm gonna remember that.
Same name.
I'm like, just think it's your brother.
Right.
He like, I got you. I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
Every year on August 20th, he texts and be like, happy birthday to whichever nephew.
Oh.
The 15-year-old. Or like this year it's gonna say happy birthday to the 16-year-old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how he is though. Like, who offended by that?
That's funny.
I'm like, I took him away. His wife moved him all the way to fuck to Florida. She ain't take him away.
Hell, fuck yeah.
You talk about somebody don't come to nothing.
He definitely don't out of state. Shit.
Her ass don't come to nothing. And when she do come, you better not touch her baby. Well, he big boy now, but when he was a baby, don't touch her baby. Like.
Yeah. Well, they feel more connected with DTM folks, He's the bigger brother, so they feel like. He should have stayed at home forever.
He a bad big brother. I said, not if you ask my little sister.
He should have stayed at home forever, like some people's.
Still be at home right now?
Some people's.
Won't leave.
Still be at home right now.
Some people.
I guess he could split the basement with the other boy that lived on me.
or you want me to be the people under the stairs?
First of all, you should have still been at home.
Him downstairs.
And just
almost 40.
Maybe you should have had multiple baby mamas and like no successful marriage.
But you know what?
Maybe that's the life they wanted. Like I don't know.
But you know what was said, which was weird. He was saying when he was going through the situation of having the coronavirus, he was like, I felt like I was gonna die. I felt like that this was over for me. And I didn't feel comfortable enough to call none of my kids and let them know I was about to die. I said, that's good because you didn't die. So why would you put that on somebody? We can't come see you. Like, why would you want to tell me you finna die? You're not really finna die, and we can't come see you because you got a coronavirus. That don't make sense.
The worst. Yeah.
But he was like, but I should feel comfortable. I said, well, to be honest, I go through a whole bunch of stuff. And I feel comfortable telling none of y'all none of it.
Oh, my goodness.
Because the problem is, whatever I tell you, it's going to come out in a setting just like this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself in there. And that's why they didn't have any ammo for this whole little meeting other than...
That's what we talked about last week. Remember?
And that's why they went... Yeah, that's why they went to her. Because they was like, I don't have no ammo, but... She's sensitive, so I'm going to talk to her. Because they know you talk to me till you blue in the face. I'm going to just look at you and smile and crack a joke. And my joke might hurt more than what you trying to come up with. Like
I just had one on time. When I was playing on a swing. I like walked around the yard.
You was good.
I went out there and checked on his sister because she was out there crying. I forgot what he said.
So what he was comparing him to her, the father of her kid, and he was like, no, I'm up here talking about on the ceiling, and he's down here at like the doorstop.
What?
And I'm looking, I'm like, and they going through some stuff right now. Not like within their relationship, but like period in life. Yeah. They got life hitting them right now. So I'm like, why would you want to say something? Now, if somebody come back and say something about, one of your friends who passed, or your dad who passed, or somewhere that's gonna hit below your belt, now you're gonna be ready to whatever. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You are the adult, the adult. Like you are supposed to be the head.
You the daddy.
Right. You the daddy. You're supposed to be the head. So you can't come and try to hit below nobody's belt. Honestly, you should be the one saying, no, y'all shouldn't say that. Y'all shouldn't do that. Chill out, relax, whatever. But
I know when I went out there to check on her, she was crying so hard. She was like, I fucking hate it here. Aww. She was like, why? She like, I'm the one who put all this together. And she was like, I don't understand why he would say that. Like, she was like, he ain't never did nothing to him. And
I'm sitting here trying to diffuse it. I'm like, no, my man cool. I like my man. Like, he helping. Because he a good guy. You know what I'm saying? And I met him when they first got together. And I've seen the growth from such a great level, like, on both parts.
Yeah. And then that's what was like, well, what about this, and this? I'm like, don't act like she was innocent in it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Of course, when you're in a relationship, stuff happens.
Stuff happens.
And like I tell her all the time, she still got to learn this little piece too. You can't vent to everybody.
That's a big one.
Because when you vent to some people, ain't gonna forget the vent.
It's gonna come back out,
and they gonna hold it back. And that's why I don't. And that's exactly why I said I don't feel comfortable going to anybody on that side and saying, yo, this happened, what should I do? Or not even for advice, but just to kind of, sometimes you just want to let it out. But if you let it out to the wrong people, it's coming back to you like a boomerang. And it's going to always be at the wrong time. Like, you'd be going through something totally different and feel like you overcame a situation. They're going to bring it right back up. Like, what about when you was doing crack and you couldn't, you was putting your crack in your corona, and that's how coronavirus was made. Like, they're going to come up with all kind of whatever. And whatever you don't tell in between that, they're going to add to it and make it up.
Yep.
So, you just got to be careful what you tell people and who you tell. Because it ain't for everybody. So, yeah, that was a very interesting evening and week and couple weeks, I guess you would say. And it got a little more interesting, but just not for us.
Jesus.
Because at the end of it, now we're hearing a whole nother argument. Which, I was like, man, this boy here got drama on every end of his life, which further lets me know why this is all going on. It follows you. I'm like, man, so I don't know. We probably ain't got time to get into that second part of that piece right there, but
man, that was a lot. That's a lot.
That was a deep one there.
I can't believe y'all held that in from me this long.
Well, just happened Friday.
I was about to say, it just happened.
And then yesterday was
the re-up day.
That was
I had to re-up a little
I was
bit.
like, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
I think y'all barbecued. I was like, oh, okay, they didn't even invite me over. They out here barbecuing and shit.
Oh, that was the last minute selection.
It was so fun. We was
First of all, I'm only 10 minutes away.
That's true.
Well, I had pulled up the text message, but I didn't hit send. No, I'm sorry.
Here we go.
You are stupid.
I say that all the time. You cannot use it on me, okay? Then I be typing it in like, look, screenshot. Look, I didn't press send.
I said that.
I thought I said that. My bad.
Yeah, we were going to the store. She was gonna make lasagna, right? Chicken lasagna. And we looking at the weather. I'm like, babe, it's hot outside.
It was like 80-something degrees.
It was nice yesterday.
So she was like, yeah, it is. I'm like, we should be barbecuing.
She was like, you cooking inside. I know that.
She was like, you took that right out of my head. I was
like,
like, yeah, I do that.
Why are I finna turn the oven on?
That's what I'm saying. It's too hot to cook inside. With
Shoot, we might have to do the same thing today.
I swear. Bro, because I'm like, it's 75 degrees.
Again, I know.
Took it right out your head again.
Oh, we got some chicken in there. Throw a little chicken on the grill with my special sauce. Whew, man. So, yeah, that's that, man. What y'all think, man?
Yeah, that's it. We done.
That's a lot. Oh, that's a song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, you was nice. First of all, what does this song have to do?
So, I hate to get a backstory to this, but I'm gonna have to get a backstory to this. The reason why the song is even in the playlist is because when I first started going around, he stayed in this apartment building, and I would go over there on Friday after school. Every Saturday morning, I would hear this song playing, and that means it's time to get up and start cleaning. So when we get up and start cleaning, only to find out that the song really had a special significance to another individual who, pierced a spot in his heart, I guess I would say.
Clearly.
So that was the real reason. And I didn't want to blow the spot up that night like, what? No, this song came from... because I know for a fact that the current wife know the piercer. So I was like, oh.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's where that came from. But man, so that's our show for today, man. That's serious relationship reality. I would give you guys a motivational message for the week, but I feel like the whole episode was a motivational message for the week. Be careful who you tell, what you tell.
Yes.
And the title of this one is good, man. KD came up with this title. It's phenomenal. Y'all see it. So,
And for future reference, don't hold on to a grudge. If you feel like you have something to say it, please.
Talk to him. Preach.
Don't wait 20 years to say anything because that would have just been too much for me.
Yeah, because you wasting time. Because you know what?
Too much energy wasted on something that you feel, like 20 years. That's a long time to hold something.
If I don't like you,
you gonna know.
Then
for sure.
Yeah, you gonna know for sure. But if I don't like you and I'm pretending that I do, I'm not taking anything that you give to me as a value.
Ever though.
So I'm wasting my time being around you because I don't like you anyway.
But it's so crazy to me because
it's
it's like on our first wedding, he was the best man.
Mm-hmm.
We renewed our vows. He was the one that was supposed to bless our union. So it's like, if you had all this animosity towards me, like,
why would you do it?
Why would you do it?
So that means it was all fake.
Exactly, which is fucking crazy to me. And then I'm like, when you marry somebody, you do marry their family. But the thing is, that whole situation could have went totally left. Because what would have happened if we left there being so broken that it ended our relationship? 20 years, 14 years of marriage just down the drain because y'all hateful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and for nothing. Yeah.
I mean, they probably would have been happy about it.
And like my man Kat said, if you see a hater is gonna hate. If you got 7 enemies, you need to figure out how to get 8 by the time you leave this episode. Haters is gonna hate. That's their motherfucking job. It's to hate.
That's so true though. That's so true.
I hate you.
So yeah, shout out to my TikTok, man. If y'all ain't doing that, make sure y'all follow me on TikTok or any social media site. Because I'm trying to commit to, maybe I should stop doing TikToks and start responding to text messages.
Oh, look at there. That'd be nice.
That's why they be mad. They see you ain't responding to them, then they go in there and your ass on TikTok
all day.
And I'm the one that make you do your TikToks. You ain't know?
Not gonna happen. But look,
get your ass on TikTok.
But we'll definitely see y'all next week, man. Especially if Katie let me record with them, because you know how she be. She be trying to shut stuff down. With that being said, man, I am DTM, Deontay the Motivator, for as long as she let me. Who are you, babe?
Hey, girl, KD.
Your hostess with the mostest, Kiki.
It's just relationship reality. Peace. See you next week.
Jerk.